Nestled deep within the rugged embrace of the towering peaks lay the quaint town of Whispering Pines. Its name was a tribute to the dense pine forests that blanketed the slopes, their needles whispering secrets to the wind. Every year, this tranquil haven transformed into a vibrant hub of activity, hosting the renowned Great Ridge Bike Race. This challenging race attracted seasoned cyclists from all corners of the globe, eager to test their mettle against the unforgiving terrain. The race was a spectacle, a thrilling display of human endurance and skill against the backdrop of nature's grandeur. The townsfolk, their hearts filled with pride, would line the winding course, their cheers echoing through the valleys. The air crackled with anticipation, a palpable energy that permeated the very essence of Whispering Pines. For the inhabitants, the race was more than just a competition. It was a celebration, a testament to their connection with the mountains. The Great Ridge, the race's namesake, was a formidable beast, its slopes steep and treacherous, its paths winding and unpredictable. It demanded respect, a deep understanding of its every twist and turn. Only the most skilled and daring cyclists could hope to conquer its challenging heights. The race was a test of not only physical prowess, but also mental fortitude, a battle against the elements and oneself. The race began in the heart of the town, snaking its way through the narrow cobblestone streets before ascending into the wilderness. The cyclists, a colourful blur against the green canvas of the mountains, pushed their limits, their muscles burning, their lungs gasping for air. The cheers of the crowd faded as they climbed higher, leaving them alone with the mountain and their own determination. The Great Ridge awaited, a silent judge of their courage. In the heart of Whispering Pines lived a young man named Leo, his spirit as wild and untamed as the mountains he called home. He was a child of the peaks, his life intertwined with the rhythm of the wilderness. From a tender age, he had explored the hidden trails, his bicycle becoming an extension of his own being. The mountains were his playground, his teacher, his sanctuary. Leo was not just a cyclist, he was a part of the landscape, his movements mirroring the grace of a mountain lion, his senses attuned to the whispers of the wind. He knew the trails like the back of his hand, every rock, every route, every subtle shift in the terrain. He had spent countless hours honing his skills, pushing his limits, becoming one with the mountain. Unlike the seasoned racers who arrived with their fancy gear and sponsors, Leo was an underdog, his bike a patchwork of salvaged parts, his training ground the very trails he would race on. He possessed something far more valuable than expensive equipment, an intimate knowledge of the mountain, a connection forged through years of exploration and respect. While others saw obstacles, Leo saw opportunities, his local wisdom guiding him through the treacherous paths. He understood the mountain's moods, its subtle shifts in temperament. He knew when to push forward and when to hold back, when to embrace the challenge and when to yield to the mountain's power. He was a part of it, and it was a part of him. The day of the Great Ridge Bike Race dawned, the air electric with anticipation. The town square buzzed with activity, a kaleidoscope of colours and sounds. The seasoned cyclists, their faces etched with determination, warmed up their sleek machines while the townsfolk gathered, their cheers echoing through the streets. Leo, standing amongst the giants, felt a surge of excitement mixed with a touch of nervous anticipation. The starting gun fired, and the cyclists surged forward, a wave of human energy unleashed upon the mountain. Leo, initially swallowed by the pack, found his rhythm, his body moving in sync with the familiar terrain. He navigated the early stages of the race with confidence, his local knowledge giving him an edge over the outsiders. The race quickly ascended into the steeper sections of the mountain, the terrain becoming increasingly challenging. The seasoned racers, their muscles burning, began to feel the strain. Leo, however, remained steady, his breathing even, his movements fluid. He knew these trails, their every twist and turn, their every hidden danger. As the race progressed, the pack began to thin, the weaker riders falling behind. Leo, fueled by the cheers of his townsfolk, maintained his position, his eyes fixed on the summit. The great ridge loomed ahead, its peak shrouded in mist, a silent challenge to the remaining competitors. The race was far from over, but Leo knew deep in his heart that he had a chance. Section 4. The Dance of the Mountain and the Boy. The middle section of the race was a grueling test of endurance, the trails winding through dense forests and across rocky streams. The seasoned cyclists, their initial confidence waning, struggled to maintain their pace. Leo, however, seemed to thrive in the challenging conditions, his movements as fluid and graceful as a mountain stream. He danced with the mountain, his bike an extension of his own body, his spirit soaring. He knew the hidden shortcuts, the smoother paths, the places where the mountain offered a moment of respite. He used his local wisdom to conserve his energy, knowing that the final ascent would demand every ounce of his strength. The other cyclists, their faces etched with fatigue, watched in amazement as Leo effortlessly navigated the treacherous terrain. They had underestimated the young local, his quiet confidence and intimate knowledge of the mountain. He was not just racing, he was flowing, his movements a symphony of strength and grace. As the race entered its final stages, Leo found himself amongst the leading pack. The seasoned cyclists, their bodies screaming in protest, pushed themselves to their limits. Leo, however, remained calm, his breathing steady, his eyes focused on the summit. He knew that the final climb would be the ultimate test, a battle of wills against the unforgiving mountain. Section 5. Wisdom of the Trails. The final ascent was a brutal climb, the trail snaking its way up the sheer face of the great ridge. The remaining cyclists, their legs burning, their lungs aching, fought against gravity's relentless pull. Leo, drawing upon the wisdom of the trails, found his rhythm, his movements steady and controlled. He remembered the lessons the mountain had taught him, the importance of patience, the power of perseverance. He had climbed this section countless times, his body remembering the path, his spirit attuned to the mountain's energy. He was not just climbing, he was ascending, his spirit rising with every pedal stroke. The other cyclists, their bodies nearing exhaustion, struggled to keep up. Leo, his face etched with determination, pulled ahead, his local knowledge giving him the final edge. He knew the optimal line, the places where the terrain offered a slight advantage, the moments to push and the moments to conserve. As he neared the summit, the cheers of the townsfolk reached him, carried on the wind. He could see the finish line, a beacon of hope against the backdrop of the vast sky. He pushed harder, his muscles screaming, his heart pounding, his spirit soaring. He was almost there, almost at the top of the world. Section 6. Triumph and Homecoming. With a final surge of adrenaline, Leo crossed the finish line, his arms raised in victory. The crowd erupted, their cheers echoing through the valleys. He had done it, conquered the great ridge, and become a champion. His victory was not just his own, it was a victory for the entire town, a testament to their connection with the mountain. Leo, his body exhausted but his spirit exhilarated, stood on the podium, the cheers of his townsfolk washing over him. He had gone from being a local boy with a patched-up bike to a local hero, his name etched in the annals of the Great Ridge Bike Race. The celebration continued late into the night. The town square transformed into a festival of joy. Leo, surrounded by his friends and family, felt a profound sense of gratitude and accomplishment. He had not only won a race, he had proven that local wisdom and determination could overcome any obstacle. The tale of Leo's triumph became a legend in Whispering Pines, a story passed down through generations. He became a symbol of hope and inspiration, a reminder that even the smallest of towns can produce the greatest of heroes. And every year, as the Great Ridge Bike Race approached, the townsfolk would remember the boy who danced with the mountain and emerged victorious.